Hi, I'm Sarah. I have fostered with Fairways for almost 5 years now. I have 3 children of my own. My daughter is 20 and then I have 2 boys aged 12 and 10. To date, I have fostered around 6 children with Fairways, eldest being 14 and the youngest was 2. I started fostering because I used to work in a contact centre and it just suddenly became very apparent to me that within every local school there was a looked after child or numerous looked after children. I just didn't realise it was such a big problem. There was one particular incident where an 8-year-old child had been dropped off contact and then didn't have anywhere to go, and that's the moment where I decided to start the process to become a foster carer myself. Fostering is hard work, but also very rewarding. I think you go into it with rose-tinted glasses thinking you're going to change the world, and you do change the world to a certain degree for those young people that you foster, but you have to put a lot of hard work into it. You have to be realistic and you have to take time for yourself because that's really important. I would recommend fostering. I think you have to go into it with a very open mind. You have to be willing to learn. There's a lot of learning along the way. I'm still learning and will be learning until the day I stop fostering. You have to have a lot of patience, a lot of empathy, and you cannot be judgmental, and that goes towards the young people and the families of those young people. That's really important. The last placement I had, it was a sibling group that came to me. The expectation at the point of them being placed was that they would return home. Within quite a short time with the placement starting, it was apparent that this was probably not going to be the case. The relationship between the siblings, also who were aged at the time 3 and 2, was very clearly quite complex. So as time went on, there was discussions around separation and adoption, which was the case in the end. This was quite sad, but also particularly for one of the siblings, absolutely the right decision. They were adopted separately. The placement in the end went on in total for 16 months. The eldest sibling was the last one to leave, and she did have the most complex behaviours, but from what I hear now, she's absolutely thriving. When the siblings came to me, their relationship was very complex. There was quite a lot of violence. This was instigated by the eldest of the siblings, which was just replicated what the behaviours that they had seen at home. That was what the decision was based on, to separate them. The transformation in them was apparent. The youngest sibling really thrived on being able to play with my own children and have a healthy play. So when he actually saw how children could play, that was really lovely to see. He went first. When he gone, that's when I really started to see the other sibling thrive within my care, because she really needed to be by herself. And as much as my birth children were there, she then being at school, she had a lot of time with me by herself, and her attachment to me really grew, and her aggression dissipated. Within time, she realised that happiness was possible and that she was allowed to be happy, because I think she did feel that that was her makeup, that she needed to be unhappy, she needed to be complaining, she needed to be aggressive. And then within time, she kind of left me as a very average 4-year-old little girl with a bright future ahead of her. Preparing the children for adoption is a bit of a roller coaster. It's absolutely a great thing that you think they're going to get their forever home, their family, and the security that they so deserve. However, I worry about the small things. I'm not worried about them moving on, because the transition plan is very robust. It's tailored to the individual child. It's however long they need. Generally, this can be around 2 weeks from the point of meeting their parents, learning that this is their new family, to moving in with them. But I worry about the small things, about their likes and their dislikes, and I don't worry about the bigger picture because I feel like that's been covered by the transition plan, and they've been really prepared for the move. I am so pleased that I picked Fairways to foster through. The support within Fairways is second to none. I have a great supervising social worker. The team are all really friendly. The training is absolutely brilliant, I've learnt so much, particularly in the last year. The training's really stepped up. I've made friends through fostering, a couple of very good friends, and we talk regularly, and you really need that support because it's very hard work, but also you have to find humour in it. Last year I did a training course called Rise, which was incredibly helpful, particularly at that time. It could have actually been written for one of the young people that I had at the time. It really helped me understand her behaviours. When you have the younger children, it's a better opportunity to be able to change the pathways of their brains and their thought processes and their behaviours, and implement boundaries that they will start to feel safe with. And Rise was really helpful for all of that for the very young children I had at the time. Fairways have residential homes, and now my most recent foster placement has ended. I have started using that opportunity in between placements to work in the homes, which is lovely. It's very different. It's interesting because you can go from one home to another and it can be quite different, and it's also very different to fostering. It's helpful because you can take little tips from these homes to use at home within placements. It's also nice to go in, do your job and go home.